Welcome everybody to our first webinar of 2025. I can't believe it's 2025. And today I'm super excited because this is one of my very favorite topics and one of my very favorite tools that we have here at ByDesign. And I am joined today by one of our partners, Ryan. He is from ZipLingo, a communications platform that is one of our preferred partners. We're going to team up on this today. I will be speaking about what's out of the box with ByDesign, what's possible there, sharing a few examples, and then I'll hand it over to him and he can talk about how the ZipLingo platform works and how the integration really helps both experiences to be even better. So with that, I will go ahead and kick it off. So starting with a little bit of basics about the autoresponder platform. So autoresponders are basically automated responses. Okay, so automated communications that can be configured in the ByDesign system. So in the Freedom back office at the corporate level, you can configure as many of these as you want. And once you configure them, the communication will automatically go out anytime somebody qualifies to receive it. Okay, so it's really, the setup up front does take some time, but once you've got them set up, it really saves time because there's automated responses going out to customers, to reps, to leads, anybody that you want to send them to based on data-driven triggers. Okay, so I'm going to start by talking about all the delivery options. And the delivery options have expanded over time, and they currently include kind of four primary delivery methods. The first one is Revolution. So as a reminder, Revolution is the rep back office. So you can set up these automated communications to be delivered directly to a rep's back office. And there's a few different places that they can be delivered to. First of all is going to be the alerts. Okay, alerts have been kind of the tried and true system of delivery in Revolution. So for any of those pro users, they can see those alerts right on their dashboard. So when they log in, they can see, a customer has placed an order or somebody in my downline has ranked up. So it's kind of a way to just alert them as to what's going on with their business. Okay. We have added two new delivery options. That is the banner alert and the dashboard pop-up. These two things are more of a disruptor and in-your-face communication. Most often, these two are going to be used for renewal notification. So if you think about a rep who has their renewal coming up, or maybe their renewal has just passed and they did not renew, you can use this to interrupt their experience and basically right in front of their face, let them know that that renewal is coming up. You can link directly to the cart to complete that renewal, but that's just one use case. You may choose to use this either banner alert, which is a banner at the top of their homepage, or the pop-up, which is literally a pop-up. You can use it for anything as simple as birthday or anniversary recognition to, you could go so far as to use the bonus-based alerts, anything, as you get closer to the end of the month, letting them know how far they are from the next rank. There's lots of different options here. I would caution you on overusing the alert or pop-up because, you really want to save that for those times when you really need to get their attention. Otherwise, you're probably going to want to lean more toward the alerts. So that's the Revolution option. You can also deliver these via email. Now, keep in mind, your reps all have their own opt-in preferences, so they can opt in or out of receiving these emails. The great thing here is that these emails do allow for HTML. So you can put images, you can embed videos into these. You can link to external sites, link to any page within Revolution. You can really get creative with these emails, make sure they're branded, make sure they match your messaging and your voice. And I will say that email, in addition to having those HTML options, they're going to have the most field tags available. And I'll get into field tags here in a minute. But email is it's kind of a catch-22. Email gives you the most flexibility, but it is limited in that it can only be delivered to that email address. And we all know that, email is not necessarily the best way to reach people. But again, it is an option. We also have a texting option built into the Freedom back office. Again, the reps can opt in or out of this. This one's going to be much more limited. If you think about what you can receive in a text message versus what you can receive in email, no, we're not going to add images or videos. Okay, you're not going to have that HTML. You're also going to be limited in the total character count for a text, or the field tags that are available. So the delivery method is going to dictate some of your configuration choices. And then the fourth one, which is very powerful and really the core of the integration that we have with Ziplingo, is webhooks. And webhooks is a newer delivery option that allows you to take any of our autoresponders that are in the Freedom system, which we know there are hundreds of templates there, right? Any of those can be delivered as a webhook instead of an alert, an email, or text. When you deliver them as a webhook, that's going to allow that information to be consumed by a third party, by a custom app. So if you've built your own mobile app, if you've built your own rep back office, whatever that example might be, webhooks is a way to leverage our data-driven triggers, but then serve them up in a system outside of our own. Okay. So that's kind of a high level on the delivery options. Now I'm going to jump into some of those triggers. Okay, so I like to think about our triggers in 4 basic categories. The first one being event triggers. So this is going to be anytime there's an event, the autoresponder goes out. So think very operational. When a customer places an order, when I've got a new recruit on my team. The key here is that this is going to be sent with every occurrence. So every new order that comes in would trigger the autoresponder, every new recruit. This is going to be really great for, again, those operational things, making sure that your reps know what's going on in their business, make sure that they know and can easily follow up with customers after placing that order, follow up with their downline after they join, after they rank advance. Those are some of those event triggers that day to day help your rep understand what's going on with their business and help them to follow up with whomever makes sense for each one of those triggers. Now, the second category is the trigger threshold. And this is very similar to the event trigger in that it's the same type of activities, but the difference here is you get to dictate which occurrence it is set at. So instead of sending on every order, maybe you have a trigger threshold on their first order, and it's more of a training communication, helping them to understand how to follow up with a customer. For their first recruit, congratulate them on starting to become a business builder, give them a little bit of tips for how to be a good coach, how to be a good sponsor. This can also be really great for recognition. So when they've got their 100th order, or when they've got their 5th team member. So think about, all of those times when it makes sense to either train somebody or recognize somebody. That's when the trigger threshold is going to be great. And when you've got the trigger threshold combined with the event trigger, keep in mind both are going to spawn in certain cases. So for example, if you have a training alert that goes out on the first order and you also have the event trigger for new order, the rep's going to get 2 for that first order. The first is going to be that operational, Dan Lang just placed an order, here's the order number and the amount. And then the second one is going to be that congrats on your first order, here's how to give great customer service. Okay. So those are kind of the 2 operational ones that I like to talk about. The third one is what we call join date based. This is going to be based on the join date of each individual representative. This is really going to be how you can handle your onboarding or your new rep training within our system. You can set up how what at what days, weeks, or months after their join date you want to send this out. So on day one, maybe it's a welcome from the CEO. Maybe on day three, it's more of a getting to know your back office video. The join date based is where I see most often videos and resources attached to those, because you want to take all of your great onboarding content and deliver it in bite-sized pieces to your field. This can also be a great one to use for anniversaries, right? So 1 year from their join date, 5 years from their join date, that's all possible using this type of autoresponder as well. And then finally, what may be the most powerful and my personal favorite is bonus based. The bonus based autoresponders allow you to leverage any of your comp plan agents. So any of your volume that you are storing for your comp plan, rank requirements, recruiting, actual paid as rank, certain bonuses that they may qualify for. These are all things that are stored as part of your comp plan. We call them comp plan agents. Any of those agents can be used to set up autoresponders. This means that at certain milestones of volume, you can send out alerts. Maybe you have active status at 500 PV. You can send an autoresponder for that. Maybe they unlock a deeper discount or a higher earnings once they reach 1500 in PV. You can send an alert for that. You can help them to know when they're close to achieving a rank. You can recognize them after they've achieved a rank. It really is so powerful that the possibilities are truly endless when it comes to this bonus based alert or autoresponder. So just kind of to visualize the bonus based autoresponders specifically, like I said, it's every comp agent. You can use it for active status, for minimum activity requirements, any of your sales incentives or programs. And you can combine up to 4 on every single alert. So you don't just have to say one thing. You can say, I want to send this alert to anybody who has at least 500 in PV, but is less than 1400 PV, and they've had one new recruit for the month. Okay. I don't know why you would want to target that group of individuals, but the key is that you can. So if you think about like your field development teams in particular, what are the groups of reps that if you target them can do a little bit more, have one more party, one more order, one more recruit? That's the real power of these bonus based alerts. It allows you to identify those target groups of representatives and reach out to them and basically make them aware of what's possible and how close they are. It really helps to, bring that kind of middle group of the 80% up slightly. It's also going to help avoid some of those moments at the end of the month or after the close of the month when a rep missed a rank promotion by one order. Well, if I had known, I could have placed one more order. Okay, set up the bonus based alert so that they do know, right? That's the beauty of the data, and the fact that every agent in your comp plan can be used really helps you to guide them at every point in the journey. So you can see in the graphic here, maybe you've unlocked a certain bonus, and by the way, you're close to achieving new rank, and congrats after you've achieved it, and you've unlocked another bonus and you're close to the next rank. So throughout your bonus period, whether it's a month or a week, you can basically help them in their journey, help them understand how close they are to achieving something, and recognize them once they do achieve it. Okay, but again, the possibilities are endless on this. Anything that's in your comp plan can be used. I do want to highlight a few real use cases. So speaking of those bonus-based alerts, I love how Paparazzi, one of our clients, has really built out a series of rank progression alerts. So they currently have, I believe it's 12 ranks, 10 to 12 different ranks in their comp plan. And what we've done is I worked with them to set up these bonus-based alerts so that they have one for every rank achieved, but also one for each rank proximity. And what I love is that it's not just telling them that they're close to achieving a new rank. It's telling them exactly what is needed in order to achieve that rank. So in the examples here, you can see, the field tags that have been populated. So in the top one, for January, you currently have this amount in PV and this amount in personally sponsored active reps. How much do you need in order to achieve it? You need one more active personally sponsored consultant to hit director. That makes it very clear to the rep of exactly what they need to do in order to hit that next rank. And that is so powerful. If you think about the manual work that it would take to have this type of customized message for anybody out there in the field, there's no reason to do it manually. It's automated. The field tags make it personalized for everybody that receives it. And basically you set it up once and forget about it. From there, the system takes over. Okay. So moving on from actually, I think I should pause here, make sure we don't have any questions that Dan has not already answered. Let me see here. Um, okay, great. Dan's already covering the performance. Banner alerts on Revolution, meaning I can share an event banner to all reps by simply creating an alert to their rep. Yep, absolutely. Okay, Dan's on top of the questions. This is why I keep him around. All right, so now we can move on. Now that you know kind of what the delivery methods are and what's possible with the content, let's talk about configuration. So this is really where it starts to get exciting, because depending on which template you choose, you're going to see different configuration options. Okay. But generally speaking, most of your templates are going to have locale or language options. That means you can set up autoresponders for different countries. That's going to help obviously with the language of those countries, but it also can be used if you've got different sales incentives in the different countries, or if you need to, have a special shipping notification that is unique to the EU, that is unique to Latin America. Okay, the use cases can be varied, but just know you can set it up for specific locations and languages. I already mentioned, especially for the new rep onboarding, adding resources or videos to your alerts. This can really help to increase the view rate. I know for me, if there's a video attached, I can't help but click on it because I want to know what it is, especially if that video is the face of my leader or the face of the CEO. Okay, these are all things that are going to help drive people to open that alert and really look at it. But then there is variable configuration. What I mean by variable configuration is depending on which template you choose, some of these options are going to change. For example, the join date, the send frequency is a big one. How soon or how long after their join date do you want to send? It can also be based on renewal date. How far in advance of renewal date do you want to send? How far after renewal date do you want to send? The send frequency can also mean how many times within a period do you want them to receive it. This is really important for those bonus-based alerts. So with bonus-based alerts, if you have a month-long bonus period, you may want to send those every week of the bonus period. If you've got a week-long bonus period, you may want to send daily. There may be some that you only want to send one time in each period. Okay, so those are all some of the configuration options that are available. And then finally, you do have the ability to send to upline, but it's even variable on that side. So do you want it to go to the sponsor or to an upline manager? You have options saying, I want it upline of a specific rank or upline of matching rank. I want sponsor versus enroller. And you can also set up multiple versions of the same one. So if you want one version to go to the sponsor and a different one to go to the upline manager, you can choose how to do that. And it's all done via configuration. So that means that you don't have to rely on us. There's no development needed. You can truly set these up on your own and have them going out. Of course, we're here to support you and we have a team that can help. But the key is that it's self-service. So you have complete control over the configuration of these autoresponders. Oh, let's see here. Get back over here. And then when it comes to the content itself, I already mentioned earlier in my example from Paparazzi how they were using the field tags to pull in the PV, the number of recruits. Each template is going to have a different field tag or field tags available. And this is really what personalizes the experience for the recipient. It's going to address them by name. It's going to pull in their own KPIs, their own data, the names of the customer who placed the order, the name of the downline who just ranked promoted. These are all examples of field tags that can be put into the content of each autoresponder. HTML, that's where you're going to be able to add images, make things formatted with a header for your brand. And then when you're sending via webhook, you're going to see in my screenshot, this is the very top checkbox there. You have the option of either editing the message in our system or editing it in a third-party system. Again, our partners at ZipLingo, I actually recommend that you leverage their system to create the message versus ours, because their system, it's just a little bit more dynamic in what the options are and what you can put into the message. But you do have that option. You can either create the message in our system and then send the webhook as a fully composed message, or you can send all the data and compose the message in that third party. One more use case that I'd like to show here is kind of the opposite of the rank promotion option. And this is on the other end of that spectrum, those inactive reps that are at risk of termination or cancellation. So we recently helped Crunchy, one of our clients, to overcome a big time suck that they had on their team, which was they have a rolling 6-month period. And if you don't do a certain amount of volume within that 6-month period, you will get downgraded to a customer. So they were manually creating this email and sending it out to those at risk of downgrade on a monthly basis. But we were able to automate it for them. We were able to create a bonus-based alert based on that rolling 6-month volume. So that was one of their comp agents. We were able to leverage that comp agent. We were also able to add a second agent so that new reps didn't get this within their first 6 months in the business. But once we set it up with those two criteria, it now goes out automatically every month. This is saving them approximately 3 hours a week that they were spending just pulling the report, sorting the data, sending out the email. So that helped to save time, but it also created a better experience. When they were manually doing it, it was a very generic message. But because of the field tags, now each recipient is able to see exactly how close they are. And if somebody is very close to remaining active, they can see what's needed, and that spurs the activity for them to get qualified again. Okay, so you can see here the quote from Crunchy. They really love this solution for them. It's saving them time. It's also personalizing it for every single one of those recipients. All right, so let me pause real quick, make sure Dan has covered all of the questions.
There was one question there, Cassie, about the the rep seeing the alert every time they log in. I'm not sure. I can't remember if that's a configuration when they click OK on the first time, if it goes away, or if you can have that recurring every time they log in. I can't remember on that one.
Um, gosh, I can't remember either. I honestly, I would have to look at the configuration. It's very possible that we have a send frequency, and if you say send once, it will only show up once. Although it may also be, it was originally designed for renewal. So I think originally it was designed so that it would continue to show until they renewed or until they became inactive. Since then, of course, we've expanded it to other templates. So I would think that depending on which template you're using, if it has a send frequency, that's going to dictate how often they see it. But if it's a template where there is no send frequency, it's probably going to show up for each session. So what that means is the first time I log in, it's going to pop up. If I remain logged in and working throughout the day, I'm not going to continue to see it. But if I leave and come back, it would pop up again. But I'm pretty sure it's going to depend on which autoresponder template you're using to generate the pop-up. All right. I think you've got all the other ones handled.
There was a size question on the video attachment.
So
I,
great
I
question. It depends on how you leverage it. So my recommendation is to host your videos on a public platform, whether it be YouTube or Vimeo, and then the alert itself is just carrying the link to that. Although it's iframed within the alert, it doesn't actually take them to YouTube or Vimeo. But because it's just iframed within the alert, there is no capacity issue. If you don't want to host them on a public domain, there is an option for actually uploading them to our servers and delivering them in that way. Although then it's just pointing to our servers. So the size restriction isn't on the alert itself. The size restriction is more about what we will allow you to store on our servers. So to avoid any of that, using a public hosting platform is best. But if that's not an option for you, you can store it on our server. That's the only time you're going to get into any size restrictions. Great question.
and then there's the last one there that was from Paul about triggering for spam emails. And I'm not sure we really have the answer to that. And Ryan actually might be able to answer that a little bit better too, because I know Ryan, you deal with like SMTP servers and have more knowledge on kind of what triggers spam and what causes stuff to go to spam boxes.
Yeah, I can talk to that. It really depends on your domain as well. If your domain is warmed up and you have a verified list that you're sending to, most likely you're going to be able to deliver that to the inbox. Now, if the content and your subject line has a lot of caps, capital letters, exclamation marks, anything like that that will trigger the email service provider to market as spam is something to consider as well. Because with AI, with machine learning, with everything out there, they do take a look at that. So having more than one link in an email will not necessarily get it to spam. It's really they like to look at some of the verbiage, some of the content that you would be using in the subject line and also in the email. So that's something to consider when sending out a triggered email as well. And, if it's more transactional, where it's maybe it's something about their rank or something about an order, most likely I would say probably 99% of the time, you're not going to have a lot of that in there. But if it's more of a marketing email, that's where we work with our clients to really take a look at that content and make sure it's not spammy. We do have AI on our side to be able to create content, and then to be able to tweak it from there to make sure that it's not going to be flagged by the email service providers.
All right. Awesome. Great question. And also perfect opportunity to segue into my introduction of our preferred partner, Ziplingo. So Ryan is with us today. And gosh, we've been partnered for, I want to say 3 years now, 3 or 4 years, I think, and we have just continued to expand on that partnership. Ryan and I work very closely together, as well as our development teams, to make sure that any gaps in the integration or any new functionality is delivered to you. But at this point, I would love to let Ryan take it over, let him demo a little bit of what Ziplingo does, and the integration that we have with them. So let me stop sharing. And Ryan, you should have the ability to share.
Awesome. Well, it's great to be here with everybody. And Cassie, thank you for the introduction. It's the partnership that we've had with ByDesign has been awesome. Like Cassie said, we've been working with them for 3 or 4 years, and we have a great relationship where we've integrated in to the back office to be able to receive the autoresponders. And one of the delivery methods that Cassie talked about was the webhook. And when you turn that on, that webhook, what happens is it'll start sending us information, start sending Ziplingo information. So we actually receive an API call that comes across, and we're able to consume that data. And then from there, we're able to see all of the autoresponders. So I'm showing one of our clients right now, and as you can see, we have 88 autoresponders that are coming across for this client. And so we're getting all of the data, for this autoresponder, through that integration. And why this is so powerful, because we can take any of these autoresponders and we can come into our builder and we can create a campaign. So this campaign could be just a one-off campaign. We call it a blast, where you're going to be sending it out. It could be a drip campaign where, let's say it's a new order and you want to go out, a first email, and then you want to drip on them, 30 days later to follow up with them to see how, it's going, and to maybe make some recommendations on, what they could order next. We also have a multi-language campaign where, let's say the autoresponder comes over, we're able to look at languages, and depending on the languages that are built out, we could send it in, for example, English, Spanish, Portuguese, Japanese, whatever it may be, depending on the countries that you're in. So we have that campaign where we're able to look at their preferences, their language, and we're able to send off, a campaign based off of that. We also have, something that I'll show as well is journeys, where journeys are more action-based. So if they don't open up their welcome email, we can then trigger a text message to nudge them and remind them that they received a welcome email. And, it can have a link that can, if they click on it, it can go back to that welcome email and they're able to view it. So what we've done is we've taken that integration with the autoresponders, and essentially we've put everything on steroids, where you're able to then create these campaigns and everything with our builder. So what I'm going to do is I just wanted to show you, one of the campaigns that I came in, and I always get excited about the multi-language campaign just because of the ability to be able to trigger a campaign based off of a language. So I've actually come in and I've built a campaign, and I just called it Test Multi-Language. And for this, I have my campaign type, which is multi-language, and then I have my delivery methods that we have on our side. So we can deliver to email, SMS, MMS, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, Instagram Messenger. WeChat is another one that we're working on, Line, Telegram. And then we've also integrated into other, third-party apps like Hustle would be one, Rallyware is another, Penny. So from here, you can use all of these delivery methods to be able to send one message into, to a lot of different delivery methods, with just one message. And then when they respond, it all comes back into one location where you're able to see those responses, and you can see everything that's been going out. You can see if they've opened messages, if there was an issue with sending any messages out. We try to provide all of that transparency. And so with this campaign, though, I've tied it to AutoResponder 5, which is a new order. And the languages I've chosen are English, Portuguese, and Spanish. And so I've actually come in and I've started building a campaign. And when I use our AI prompt right here, and I can say, let's say, write me a message for a new order for Pomifera. And it's all in caps. Let's see. And then it spits it out. It gives us some content that we can use. If I want to change that content, I can summarize it. I can improve the writing. I'm not a very good writer, so for me, it's a godsend because it really has helped me, create content for a lot of our newsletters that we do. So then I'm able to just to copy that. I'm able just to paste it right in there. And then what happens is once I add our languages, like Portuguese or Spanish, we use OpenAI to translate that for you automatically. So now I speak Portuguese fluently. So bem-vindo ao Pomifera. I can come in and I can take a look at the translation. It's about 80% correct. But we do a lot of that translation. So now you can come in and say, okay, is this translation right? Do I need to tweak anything? And the same thing for Spanish. It automatically translates it. And so you're getting all of this translation, immediately if you're creating a multi-language. And so now you have a powerful campaign built on multi-languages that is listening to the webhook from ByDesign when an order is triggered. And so that's just one of the tools that we have to be able to create these types of messages.
So really quick, Ryan, just want to jump in here. So you can see here where they're taking our data and really extending so far beyond the capabilities of our system. We have the languages, but you have to set up a different autoresponder for every one of those languages versus what Ziplingo has been able to do is you create the one message and it's automatically going out based on the recipient's language. And that's in addition to what he said with the multiple vehicles, delivery methods, the AI tool. I mean, how incredible is that? So just want to make sure everybody understands, like, this is like on steroids, right? It's taking the data and really taking it to the next level.
One of the things that I did not put into this message is our merge fields. So with that payload that we're getting, all that information that we're getting from ByDesign, we're able to use the merge fields. So we're pulling them in. And if I scroll down, we can start to see all of the merge fields for this order that we can now use to customize the message. So if we wanted to put in the customer's first name, their address, their order line price, all of this information we can use to customize this message. Maybe it was a party order. So we can start dropping that information in and we can customize this message to use those merge fields. So when the customer gets that message or the rep gets that message, they can see, their order, the order ID, the amount. And if we have the shipping information, we can drop that in there as well. So we're able to leverage all of that data. We're able to customize the message. And the other thing that we have as well is you can use templates as well. So we have predefined templates that you can actually come in. And if you don't like my template, that's great, where you can actually come in and you can say, okay, I want to add a predefined template, and you're able to see all the different ones that we're able to use. You can come in, you can make it your own, but it gives you kind of a starting point with these templates to be able to use those. So I think there's about 2,000 templates that we have. Then we're constantly updating them. Like for e-commerce, we have 230 of them. So you're able to come in and let's say you want to use one for football. you can, you come in here, you use this template, and then it's going to add it into your campaign. And then, once you make all the changes, you're able to come in here and you're able to save it as your own template that you can reuse over and over again. So you can see here, it put in the template. I can come in here and I can change all the information and update it, any way I like, and then I'm able to save that. And so what we try to do with our customers is we have a process when we bring on a new client is we don't want you to feel like, okay, here's the platform, here's the system, you're off and running. We want to make sure that we provide you all the support that you need to get going. So we have customer success managers that will set a lot of this up for you. And then we go through a training process, whether that's, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it could be 2 months, where we're constantly setting up a reoccurring call every week and every month to be able to go through this and to provide you as much information that you need to leverage all the tools that we built in. And in a lot of cases, what we like to do is we'll go in and we'll build a lot of the autoresponders out, given the content. And then we'll go in and we'll start building those out for you. And then we walk through a process to be able to show you, this is how we built it. This is how we set it all up. And so there's there's a training process that we go through because we want to make sure that you understand the platform, you're able to leverage it, and use it appropriately. And then again, we're always here to be able to provide the support that you need. And when it comes to our support, we don't charge for it. This is important for us to make sure that you are successful with the platform, with the communication, because at the end of the day, creating those relationships with your customers and with your reps are critical. And so being able to send out an MMS or an SMS or a WhatsApp message or an email and be able to communicate effectively is so important for your business. And that's where we look at this as a partnership to be able to work with you to help you be successful with your communication.
And just to interject a little bit there, on the ByDesign side as well, we do not charge for any of the support required to support the ZipLingo integration, including the initial setup. It can be done on your own. There's a great how-to article that helps you walk through that. But if you run into trouble and we need to assist and help you get that set up, that doesn't count towards your monthly billing. The partnership that we have with ZipLingo is such that we're able to really facilitate and help to make sure that it's working for you. So just wanted to throw that in there. In addition to their side, it's a little bit different on our side as well, but none of that's going to count toward your support billing for the ZipLingo setup or support.
So one more thing, and I don't want to take up too much of everybody's time. I know how valuable it is. One of the other integrations that we've done besides the autoresponders is the link tracking that we've done with ByDesign, where we've tied in to the shopping cart and to the websites, that if you drop in one of our links that's tied to ByDesign, and you tie it into the autoresponder, or maybe it's a marketing email that's going out, and if they click on that, we're able to provide data back to you on our dashboard that will show you, it can show you the revenue, the amount of clicks, the page views. So what this provides is transparency for your autoresponders and also for your campaigns that you're sending out to be able to see how effective everything is working. So in this case, for Palmifera, they've have a ROI of 623% just on the link tracking that they've used in our system. So they're able to see, they're able to look at their costs, they're able to look at what's working and not working, and then to be able to make changes to those campaigns as well. And so that's one of the other integrations that we've done with ByDesign that has really helped our customers be successful with their autoresponders and with sending out messages.
Yeah, I love that part of the integration. Knowledge is power. And when you can see what's happening, which of your marketing emails got the best response, which products are people more likely to click on, which delivery methods are they more likely to click on. I mean, it's so powerful to have this breakdown. And what he's showing you really is the tip of the iceberg. I think Ryan could probably speak for an hour just on this piece of it. But it's a lot of information, and it's very easy to digest, easy to access. So especially for the marketing teams that might be here, or as you go back and talk to your sales and marketing teams, this component of the link tracking and being able to tie the revenue back to what you're sending out is really powerful.
I know there's. I'm looking at the chat right now, and there was a question about allowing the reps to be able to leverage it. That is something that we're actually in the process of rolling out in Q1. It'll be our phase one to allow reps to be able to sign up and be able to use the platform. It will pull in their downline. So they'll be able to communicate with their downline, via email or SMS. And then they'll be able to add in contacts as well to be able to communicate with them. So that's something that we are working on right now. Let's see if there's any other questions.
Looks like there's a couple of questions around the pricing and how the billing works. I don't know if you want to share any high level info there, or if we just want to connect after the call.
I would love to connect after the call. We can set up a time where I can bring Matt, our CEO, and he's over our sales, onto a call. We can walk through some of the other features of the platform, and then we can talk about pricing.
Perfect. What I can tell just from a 30,000 foot, I can tell you it's very affordable from what I've seen, and from the value of what they are able to deliver when it comes to drip campaigns, I don't remember the word you called for when they click on it, the journey. There you
Yeah,
go.
the journey. Yep.
Yeah. See, I'm not very technical.
There's
The value of what they're able to deliver with the analytics for the price that you're paying, it is really unmatched in the industry and even outside the industry when it comes to communication platforms. So he can cover the details. It's going to vary depending on your volume, how many messages are you sending out, and so on. But very affordable from what I've seen with our clients. But it is a separate company, so I know there's a little bit of confusion on that. This isn't necessarily a feature of ByDesign. ByDesign is the platform that has the data behind the scenes. And then ZipLingo is another company, a third-party partner, who is tapping into that data and leveraging that data to really make your communication smarter and more dynamic. Okay, so it is two separate companies. So billing is all separate, contracts are separate, and all of that. But the partnership is based on the fact that we've already done all of the development work to integrate. They already have access to all of our data and APIs, the support that we offer to one another, the ongoing advancement of the platform. It's not just the initial development that we did about the integration. It's anytime ZipLingo has a new feature, how can we update the ByDesign platform to make it better, or vice versa. If we have a new feature, how can ZipLingo update on their side? So all of that is part of this partnership, but they are two separate companies. We're just really good friends that work together very well.
Yeah, one
Ryan,
of the things that we found real quick is that, a lot of companies are using like Klaviyo, MailChimp, Constant Contact, Marketo. They're using a lot of different services to be able to send an email, do a journey or a drip, send an SMS. There's different services for that. So what we've tried to do is consolidate all of that and create all of these features into one location that is then seamlessly integrated into ByDesign. So you're not having to export, import, which can cause issues where if it's not done right, the data is not always correct. And so having that seamless integration where we're pulling in all of this data, then you're able to leverage to be able to filter, segment, create groups, trigger different types of messages, send out marketing emails, and have that link tracking in there to then be able to track everything. It's a very powerful tool to be able to have that integration. And to me, that's what really sets us apart is we have that integration, that relationship with ByDesign, and then being able to bring all the different types of communication and tool sets into one place to allow you to communicate more effectively.
Yeah, that's a great point, Ryan. I know one of our existing clients, they've been on a call previously to talk about this. They're at their leadership conference right now, so they weren't able to join us, but Jordan Essentials is one of the clients who has really embraced this partnership and leveraging the tools. And I think Marion said that she was using 4 separate platforms and having to do the file export and import multiple times per week, per day even. And so much of that manual effort was just gone with this integration because the syncs are automatic, no more importing, exporting, and just thinking about having to manage 4 separate platforms versus one unified platform. It really saved her so many hours a week just in manual labor in working with them. Not to mention, they were paying for all 4 of those platforms. So there is some cost savings to be considered there as well.
So absolutely.
All right,
Ryan, there was a question that came up.
Go ahead.
It was asking about reps being able to opt out, and you answered a question about reps, but I'm not sure if that's what the question was. Can they opt in or out of specific events? So like order confirmation, they want to say opted in, but more promotion stuff, they want to be opted out.
Yeah, we do that where they can opt in to different events, and they can also opt out, whenever they want. We always provide, that's one of the things we always, when we go through the training and we start setting up everything, is making sure that we have the unsubscribe, option there. If it's a text, it will always have reply stop to opt out. So we do have those features, and then we provide all of that data so they're able to go in and see, okay, here's the timestamp when someone opted out or opted in. And so, from a compliance standpoint, we want to make sure that you have all that data and make sure that people are being able to opt out or opt in of different messages.
And that's worldwide also. I mean, that
Yep.
I respect so much that Ryan and Matt and the whole team, they know what is compliant in all of the various areas. So, how can you communicate to your EU customers versus your US customers versus Canada customers? So their expertise and their knowledge, having worked in this industry in communications, is really so powerful and can help keep you in compliance across the board when it comes to communications to both customers and to your reps.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a few minutes here. Are there any other questions? Lucy, I hear you. I'm going to get you introduced right after this call. Any other questions about ZipLingo, about the ByDesign platform? Any other use cases? If there are clients on board who would love to just give a shout out to the incredible team at ZipLingo, you can certainly do that too.
If you do want to reach out to me to set up I've seen a couple questions. My email is ryan@ziplingo.com.
Pretty easy.
Yeah. And then we can set up a call. We can, answer any questions, go through any pricing, walk through more of the platform. And I'd love to introduce you to Matt. And he's, like I said, he's over our sales. He's our CEO, and just, great to work with.
And also a previous rep out in the field, both Ryan and Matt. So I have to say this because I think this is a big, compelling reason to trust them. They've both been in the field working as representatives with former companies. So, if you want somebody who understands the needs of your field, trust that they do get it because they've lived it. So I always love to throw that out there just because for me personally, that's very compelling. All right, guys. Well, I think, oh, wait, 7 new messages. Surely just.
Bart has a question about nesting merge tags in Ziplingo. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that means, but I can reach out to you, Bart, and we can walk through it.
Yeah, we currently set up an autoresponder to go out with number one, when an order is placed, the webhook lets you know what the order is. But we couldn't set up the tracking information to go out with that order. So the tracking information that we're getting from ByDesign, it has 2 merge tags.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is the tracking number and the other one is the tracking URL. And we want it to get so we could just click on the number in the email that comes out from Ziplingo, and it takes you right to the UPS page, populating it with the number. And we can't figure out a way to do that. I didn't know if there was some way to kind of nest one within the other.
I think I've done that before for a few other clients. I'll shoot you an email. Let's set up a time and we can walk through that, and I'll look at some of your campaigns to start formatting to see if I can format it to be able to, if taking those 2 merge fields and then putting them together is that so that if they, when they click on it, it'll take them to that web page, and so they'll be able to see, with the one click, their tracking information.
Perfect. And got to say, for everyone else's benefit, we love Ziplingo and everything it offers for us, because the flexibility of crafting an engaging, fun email, it does make it a lot easier. And I do appreciate you giving the little tutorial there about using AI. I had no idea what that box was for. Now I know.
That's awesome.
All right, perfect. Oh, Paul, did you have a question?
Yes, I did. I was just wondering, is there any kind of handling of conference phone / video calls or anything through any of these systems?
We
don't have anything built into the ByDesign side. Ryan, I don't know if you have anything on the Ziplingo side for that.
Not at this time. The only thing that we have clients doing is sending out links for the conference calls that will take them to the Zoom link or a Google Meet or something along those lines.
All right. That's what I needed to know. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. We are at time. I will be sending out the recording and the deck for everybody. As Ryan said, feel free to email him, ryan@ziplingo.com. Otherwise, on the ByDesign side, reach out to Dan or myself. We are happy to connect you with Ziplingo or just answer any of your questions about the autoresponder functionality. Otherwise, I just appreciate your time, and I hope everybody has a great week. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Have a great day.